Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra 150 meter coaxial day date. You can see the stainless steel automatic winding Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra on our website. Purchase it there, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time to see our full listing for this watch, with additional accessories included, high resolution images, and naturally full pricing details. You can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. This is a large watch, but it's not part of the class of so-called oversized sports watches. Omega leaves those proportions to the Seamaster Planet Ocean line. This watch is more versatile, as the Aqua Terras are generally known as Omega's surf and turf Seamasters, the ones that are equally at home in the country club and the yacht club. So 150 meter water resistance, but note the absence of any kind of encumbering dive bezel or oversized clasp. So you can see the watch, 41 millimeters across the round of the case, is relatively thin for an aggressive sports watch. 14.5 millimeters, you can see the conical bezel, also stepped, allows a dress cuff or tight sleeve to run up and over the flanks of the watch. And from lug to lug, even including the solid end links of the bracelet, you're just looking at a span of 50.5 millimeters. So an easy watch to wear on a smaller wrist like mine. Again, my wrist 16 centimeters in circumference. I would say that the lower limit for wearing this watch with security and proportion might be in the realm of 14.5 or 14 centimeters in circumference. It does have a nice heft to it, and although the Aqua Terras aren't the most aggressive of sporting Seamasters, nevertheless, this one does have a lot of substance in the case. It's a very solid ingot of stainless steel, so you want a high-grade bracelet and clasp to counterbalance that mass, and Omega achieves that with this 3-link design. Now you can see polished down the center links, satin finished on the shoulders, high polished on the edge. The distinction from variable finishes plays to good effect and articulates the aesthetic of this 3-link style bracelet. Also beautifully channeled underneath. You can see that this one's specifically designed not to pinch hair or pull skin. Furthermore, you'll note that the double deployant clasp is a twin trigger job, so you need positive release to open this. It can't simply pop open like a friction fit. Moreover, being double deployant, it doesn't have that one big up and over fold that can pinch skin on a smaller wrist. What I also like, since again, this is not the most extreme of sporting Seamasters, is that the clasp when buckled is very low in profile, kind of like Rolex's crown clasp. The only cue as to the partition point is that Omega marquee engraved. Now you'll note that the case features a style that should be familiar to all Omega aficionados, the beveled case style that grew out of the 1960s in the Seamaster and Speedmaster professionals. You'll also note the crown, beautifully knurled, and one might even say a little bit oversized for easy gripping, all surrounding a teak deck concept dial. Now the teak deck concept should remind you of the late 2000s when Omega was kind of throwing a bunch of aesthetic experiments at the wall to seeing what would stick. And anytime you hear the word concept in Swiss horology, you should hear the word gimmick, because 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what a concept is. A concept watch, a teak deck concept. Again, 9 times out of 10, it's a throwaway idea that fades into the abyss. Here, it's something that works spectacularly well, because otherwise, this watch might become a little bit, frankly, sterile. But with the texture and the vertical striations of the teak deck concept, supposedly designed to resemble the deck of a yacht, but handsome enough simply as a form of texture, the watch has a great presence on the wrist, and again, a little bit of nuance that wouldn't otherwise have. Now, all of the triangular indices are beautifully polished and fully loomed. You can see the broad arrow minute hand, so even though this is not the most aggressive, again, of sporting Seamasters, it's still extremely legible in bright, low, or no light conditions. Now, it is a derivative of the caliber 8500 family of exclusive Omega automatic coaxial calibers, so the question that's probably coming to mind for those who know the caliber is, how does the quickset system work, considering you have both a day and a date? Well, again, if you know the 8500, you know that it doesn't have a conventional quickset date. It has a rapid advanced time zone style hour hand that you can move forward or back without stopping the seconds hand or the beat of the balance or altering the minute. The problem there is that you do have to cycle it in 2 cycles per change of the date, so it doesn't have a conventional quickset date. What did Omega do here? Well, here's the answer. They give you a double quickset for both the day and the date, and they dispense with the time zone feature, so you can rapidly correct this watch should it run down, or perchance make up an imaginary day-date combination. Now on the case back you can see everything that you associate with the 8500s and 9300s traditionally. Twin mainspring barrels, automatic winding, 39 joules. It has a 55-hour power reserve, and it beats away at the quirky coaxial specific 25,200 vibration per hour beat rate. It does feature the SI14 hairspring, so the watch is effectively amagnetic. Moreover, because of the twin barrel architecture, it has excellent chronometric performance, pairing superb and even torque release over the full life of the power reserve with the fantastic coaxial system, George Daniels' own invention, still exclusive to Omega, although somewhat similar to the Paul Gerber escapement. And it brings a little bit of high horology prestige to this middle-of-the-market priced stainless steel sports watch. So again, you've got an interesting pedigree within the movement itself, but the 8500s and the 9300s, designed from the base plate up as coaxials, are considered some of the most precise and finely finished mainstream movements. I would throw it up against anything made by Rolex. Moreover, it does feature hacking seconds, such that when you pull the crown, you do stop the balance, allowing precise synchronization to a known accurate reference time. And once again, although this is the Surf Turf Seamaster with 150-meter water resistance, unless you're a professional diver, you'll never need any more. You can see this Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra 150-meter coaxial day-date in stainless steel and buy it on our website.